Live from London, another great show by Coaching for Excellence. Keep your dream alive with internationally sought-after speaker, the no-nonsense business coach and entrepreneur, Placida Acheru. Join us every first and third Wednesday of the month as we bring you industry experts. Learn about entrepreneur secrets to success, client attraction, social media, website marketing, wealth creation strategies, and more. And you can always go to coachingforexcellence.com. Call in to speak with the host on +1-760-512-7259. And now, here's your host, Placida.
Hello, hello, hello. It's me again, Placida, and we're here on Keep Your Dream Alive. And we're now in the second quarter of the year, and I thought a very special person to bring in to tell us how to keep ourselves focused and to achieve our goals is no other than Heidi Slot. I hope I pronounced her name properly. And she's the best person to be on this show to tell us how we can keep dreams alive, how we can stay focused, how we can grow our businesses, and how to grow your business in an economy that, is very frightening. So Heidi is a very energetic keynote speaker, and she engages in sales and leadership training. She facilitates workshops. She has more than 31 years of business experience, and I tell you, she has reached out to more than 2,500 people. Large companies, have benefited from her methods. She's also the author of a book called The Fortune is in the Follow-Up. And we'll be talking about that book today and looking at the contents of the book. But she's done so much amazing things. When I read her profile, I was like, wow, I need to bring this woman on the show. And she's the best person to be on this show today. Now that we've just entered into the second quarter of the year, we need to stay focused. We need to know how to grow our business. And I'm so delighted to have you on the show. Heidi, are you there?
I am. Hi.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. So good to have you on the show. Your profile is just amazing, all the things that you've done. And, the people you've reached out, the quality of content that you teach, in your workshops and, to all these big companies. I just thought that you are the best person to bring on the show. Now that we've just entered into the second quarter of the year, I think it's a good time to talk about how we can grow our business and make a lot of money. And you've written a fantastic book, which I'm really very interested to know the content, and I'm sure my listeners are also very interested to know the content of your book. So before we go any further, I'd like you to just share with the listeners a little bit about yourself and how you got to where you are right now.
Well, thank you, and thank you so much for hosting me, and I really appreciate it. Your radio show, when I look online and see the people you've interviewed, I'm very honored and humbled to be a part of what you're putting on because it looks fabulous. My background is I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've run 5 or 6 businesses, including an international nonprofit. I've started them, I've run them, and some I've successfully sold. And what I do now is I take the information I've learned, the critical pieces of information that I've learned and skill set, and share them with people who are also running businesses. And there's a whole lot of information that business owners and professionals need when running a business that they aren't taught in business school. And the way to learn that is through the school of hard knocks and in the trenches. And hopefully what I offer and teach can save people a lot of time and money and resource spending, and they can grow their company to achieve their goals. And for some people it's making a lot of money, and I can help with that. And some people it's a better quality of life and a better life balance, work-life balance. And whatever people's goals are, I want to help support that. And I do that now through keynotes and seminars and programs. And I'm really excited about what I get to do.
Fantastic, fantastic. So what's the biggest mistake business owners are making today, and what can they do to correct it?
Oh, what a great question. You know, I think that the biggest mistake people have is that they overcomplicate things, that they think that it's very complicated to run a business, that you have to have lots of funding, and running a business does not have to be complicated. And making money is absolutely possible if you have a strong understanding of business fundamentals, or what I call power strategies in my book. And I think the number one strategy that I'd like to make sure people understand is that marketing is their livelihood. Everything else they do is secondary. If you're running a business, if you are running some sort of profit center, everything is on marketing. And marketing doesn't have to be this complicated venture with fancy strategies. I mean, I define marketing as something as simple as building a relationship with a prospect or a great referral source until they want to do business with you. And in one of my sales training programs, I teach that if you can make friends, you can make money, because it's really about building a relationship. And those companies that are successful at building relationships with their prospects survive. And what I see a lot of business owners doing is they spend time and energy and money perfecting their craft. And it's good to have a great quality service or product. I'm not saying have a bad quality product or service, but there's an overemphasis on perfecting their craft or their product and not enough on building the relationships with their prospects. You can have two identical companies next to each other, both offering fantastic product, fantastic service. I don't care. Take your pick. And one succeeds and one does not. And it's not really on the basis of the quality of the work they do. It's all on how well they are able to connect with their prospects and clients. And that's marketing.
Yes, that's fantastic. Yeah. And I think what you said is really true, and everything boils on marketing. Well, see, that word is something that I know frightens a lot of business owners, the word marketing, because, they'll think, I don't have the skill, how am I going to market my product? Can you just expatiate a little more on what this marketing concept is about? I know you've made it sound so simple, but how can you expand on it a little bit just to get the listeners to be more relaxed with the word?
Well, as I said, I really like to look at marketing as building a relationship. And if you can make friends, you can build a relationship. And I don't think you need fancy consultants on a regular basis telling you what to do or how to do it. One of the things that's really, really bottom line with marketing is instead of worrying about where you're going to market and how you're going to market, it all starts with who are you going to market to? Who is your target market? Who are the people that need your products, that would use your products? Who are the people who would benefit from your services? And that's really what it all grows from. And you start with who. Who do you want to be doing business with? Who would benefit the most from your product or your services? And from that, it's determined how you'll market to them and where you'll market to them. When I used to do a lot of private clients in my consultation practice, people would come to me and start launching into where they're marketing and how they're marketing, and I would have to stop and ask them, wait, how do you know that's going to be effective if you can't tell me who you're going to market to? And in the book, the first power strategy I talk about is the ability to be able to target your market, because that's really the first step of it. And there's some exercises in the book. It's both a book to read and a workbook. Exercises in the book that help a business owner really be able to identify, drill down into describing who it is that they work with and who would be a good target market for you, whether it's people who are in your local community, if you have a local-based business, or people who come from a certain population or have gone to a certain school, or, there's all different ways you can niche your marketing. And the people who get the most traction are those who have the most narrow, defined target market. And it's really been phenomenal to watch people over the years come to me and be confused and not like the idea of having a narrowly defined target market. But the minute they embrace that and give it 90 days to 120 days, just 3 to 4 months, they will find that it changes everything. And in this difficult economy, I think that business owners believe the myth from that Kevin Costner movie, Field of Dreams, build it and they will come. And in this difficult economy, that's not the way things work. You've got to target your market and pursue them, and it doesn't have to be overly complicated. The number one marketing strategy that I have found is through referrals and follow-up. Following up with the referrals you get. And you don't need to have a whole lot of money to do that. You just don't.
Okay. Now, you've mentioned your book, and I know I said we're going to talk about your book, but I want to ask the question, why did you write this book?
Oh, thank you for asking that. I found that I was repeating myself a lot of times when I would be either working with my private clients or out in the public and giving my keynotes and my seminars. And I got asked on a regular basis, well, what can we do beyond participating in your program or having private sessions with you? How can we take that and go even further? And so I thought I could actually touch a whole lot more people with the information that I teach. I don't think that I know that there's a number of business consultants and experts out there teaching similar things, but very few boil it down to what I consider plain talk and action item steps. And it's just the way that I am and in the way that I approach my running of my own businesses as well as helping other people. And so the book is written very plainly. In fact, people say when they've heard me speak and then they've read the book, they say, I can hear your voice in the way you've written it, because I write it very approachable. I don't want to make it very complicated. And I'm pleased to say that the reviews have been very positive, and I've been really thrilled with the reception of the book. And what's really quite cool is that the book has landed me all sorts of wonderful speaking opportunities, including a speaking agent, that I wouldn't have had otherwise. So I think putting it together and sharing the information to a wider audience has been a really wonderful adventure for me.
Fantastic, fantastic. Now, in your book, you described the 5 power strategies people can use to grow their businesses. Can you give us a brief overview of some of those strategies and why they work?
Absolutely. Well, we've already gone over the target marketing, which is the power strategy number 1. So I won't repeat myself on that. But power strategy number 2 is about delegating. And originally I wanted to call that chapter Delegate or Die, but my publisher thought it was just a little bit too dramatic. But the point of that chapter is how important it is for business owners to recognize the role that they have to play in their business, and that's in marketing and sales, and that all the other activities that need to be done in their business that are non-income generating need to be done by somebody else, that it is an absolute myth that people can do it all by themselves. So that's power strategy number 2. Power strategy number 3 is about follow-up, and how that is going to be really where someone's fortune is. And that chapter talks about some of the reasons why we don't do follow-up, even though we know we could and should. And the second half of that chapter talks about some of the follow-up ideas and strategies that you can put into your marketing plan so that follow-up becomes a part of your normal weekly and monthly and quarterly activities. Because, it's not good enough just to do follow-up for a day or a week. It has to be a regular, ongoing activity. And I'm just blown away by how many people, when I challenge them to add follow-up on a regular and meaningful, consistent basis in their business activities, the feedback I get back from people is just phenomenal on how much it has helped them grow their business. The 4th power strategy is about providing great customer service. And I call it the 7 stellar customer service strategies, and how really finding out what your clients and what your prospects want from you, and then providing it. I know that sounds simple, and in some ways it is, but a lot of business owners make it overly complicated and spend a whole lot of time trying to offer what they think their customers want, and they don't go about asking. And that chapter, I teach people how to do both informal and formal customer surveys. And find out, literally ask your past clients, what did you think about working with me? What did you like about working with me? What didn't you like about working with me? And, keep those lines of communication open. Big businesses, multinational companies spend tens of thousands of dollars trying to find out this information that a small to medium-sized business owner can get for the price of just picking up the phone. And then the fifth power strategy is called Why Your Mindset Matters. And I really wanted to include something about attitude and mindset. And I didn't include this at the beginning of the book because I think that there is a myth out there in the business world. There's a lot of business coach telling people, oh, you have to have a great attitude and that will affect how you make money. And it will affect it, but you can actually make money with a bad attitude. You can have a negative mindset and still make money. In the long run, it's not sustainable and it's not enjoyable. But it definitely is possible, and so I include that because it makes a big difference for when you're growing your business, if you want to do it by baby steps or you want to do leaps and bounds, and having a great mindset, finding places to be inspired by, and I share in that chapter all sorts of ways that people can cultivate a positive mindset so that they can, when they're interacting with their prospects and their clients, they have the ability to have a positive relationship. If you go back to my definition of marketing, which is about building a relationship with your prospects until they want to do business with you, if you have a negative mindset, a negative attitude, what kind of relationship are you going to build with your prospects? Not a great one, but if you have a positive mindset, a positive attitude, you'll be able to build a positive relationship, and from that, you'll be able to grow your business, because the number one way businesses get new business is through leads and referrals. And if you want to get leads and referrals, whether you're a small, medium, or large business, if you want people to have word-of-mouth buzz about you, you've got to have a great way to connect with in a positive way with your prospects and clients.
When I was reading your profile, I read somewhere a statement that was made by you, I believe, and it says, if you can make friends, you can make money.
Yes, that was by me. That's my statement, yes.
Yeah, well, how does friendship convert into money?
That's a great question. I
wanted you to just touch on that, because I saw it and I was like, oh, this is interesting.
So I used to teach lots and lots of different programs on leadership development and communication styles and all sorts of wonderful programs for both business owners and senior-level executives. And I decided that I was just going to teach 2 classes right now for the next couple of years, because these are so critical for business owners and professionals. And one is on marketing, and the other one is on sales. And my sales training class I call Seal the Deal. And I offer it in a variety of different ways for companies or organizations and professional groups to bring me in. But in that program, we spend the first part of the program in the morning learning how to build rapport, learning how to read people. If you want to be someone's friend, you need to not just spend all your time talking at them, but you need to actually be able to read them and listen to them and respond to them. And I think that building rapport with a prospect or with a client is as simple as that. It's being able to read your prospects, being able to listen to them, being able to understand their needs and to be able to figure that out. And those same skills that it takes to be a good friend are the same skills that it takes to be able to build meaningful rapport with a prospect. And so that's why I say that if you can make friends, you can make money, because a lot of people hear prospect to client conversion rate and they freak out. And, it's just as simple as being able to have a meaningful relationship with somebody so that they want to do business with you. I had somebody, a couple of people actually over the years come to me, and they were very intimidated about doing follow-up, about making follow-up phone calls. And really what they were worried about was, did they have a good enough quality service to offer to somebody? And, you know, I think if you offer something that's of benefit to your prospects and then you don't talk to them about it, you don't build that rapport, you don't let people know about it, you're actually doing them a great disservice by not bringing it to them, right? And having them go to somebody who might not take care of them as well as you can take care of them.
That's true. Totally true. I totally agree with you.
Oh, thank you.
Totally true. Okay, let's get back to your book now. And I know your book contains some information that people can use to boost their business in any economy. What is the key to business survival in a recession? You know, so we're going through a period. In fact, you know, this period, we don't know what's really happening, but what's the key for business owners right now to survive in a recession?
That's a great question, and I got to tell you, when the last company I ran concurrently with my consulting and speaking business, I was the CEO of a real estate company, and I got to say that I made money even when the economy was not doing so well, and that's because I did these simple things, and that was to go back to basics. One of the problems with our internet age is that it is very easy to get distracted. It is very easy to get our heads turned and try the newfangled this and the latest, greatest of this and that. And in a difficult economy, those that are making money, and make no mistake, there are people making plenty of money right now. Those people who are making money are doing it because they are going back to basics. They are not making their lives and their businesses overly complicated, but they are focusing on these basic business fundamentals about connecting with your prospects, building a solid relationship with them, doing the follow-up. You know, what would happen if business owners, small to medium business owners, and I define that as, you know, people who are running businesses 15 million in gross sales and smaller. That's small to medium to my definition. What would happen if all of those business owners followed up on every lead they got, right? Every lead, every referral that you were given, you followed up on it. I'm going to tell you, you would notice a difference in your business immediately. And so I think that in a difficult economy, it's those people who can differentiate themselves by doing consistent follow-up, by making sure that they are the ones in front of their prospect's face, are the ones who are getting the business, and they're the ones making the money.
I agree with you. Again, I agree with you.
I'm sorry I'm not a controversial guest.
No, you are actually the best person to bring into this show at this time, because see, what happens when we get into the new year, people begin to realize, oh my God, what did I do last year, and what do I need to do this year? And then they get carried away with a lot of things, and you know, they don't actually achieve their goals. And now is the second quarter of the year. You know, gradually we're realizing that the year will soon come to a close, and if we don't get our heads straight, we'll probably have this year go by again and say, well, what have we done with it? So the advice and everything you're saying is actually, you know, is the perfect thing and word and advice that business owners should have at this time. You know, is to go back to basics. Are they following up their leads and clients and every referral that they've had? You know, I think everyone should go, and everyone who is listening to this call now, if you haven't done your follow-up, I think I should also go back and check, you know, my list and see, have I done my follow-up properly? Because honestly, it's a very good advice that you're giving every business owner out there, and I think that's the way to survive in this recession, and that's the way to grow your business. You know, we wouldn't be complaining if we actually took time to follow up our leads. We probably won't have any complaints, because people want to know that you care for them, isn't it? They want to know that, you know, they came to you once and you've come back to find out how they're doing, and that's how business goes, isn't it?
And find out what led them to choosing you as their service provider or buy your product. One of the things I love to encourage my clients to ask is to ask their clients, who else did they consider hiring or buying from? To find out who your competition is. But I will say this, that one of the keys to doing meaningful follow-up that's going to really have you earn a fortune from it, is that it's got to be in person or on the phone. Email follow-up is not really the way to go. And I've taught this to groups of entrepreneurs over and over and over again, because I've done this course quite a bit, and I get hired by, for instance, real estate companies will bring me in and I'll do it for all of their agents, or I've interior designers who want their continuing education credits. I've gotten approved to be able to offer it to that whole industry. And they'll come in and they'll say to me, oh, I don't want to be a bother. It's easier if I email. And what they're really saying is, I'm frightened. I'm nervous about contacting them. And what I've told them is that if you send an email as your follow-up, and that's your only follow-up, you will not get the results you were looking for. And even though it makes some people nervous, even though they are worried about it, that alone is not enough. If you want to have meaningful follow-up, and email is an okay way to set up the right time to do it, but real meaningful follow-up with your prospects, with your future clients, with your future referral sources has got to be in a real-time conversation. And I promise anybody who does that on a regular basis, they will see the difference. And if it's nerve-wracking, I want to let people know that even very successful people who make tons of money, who are very successful, they are nervous too. The difference between those who are those who are successful and those who are not, is not the lack of being nervous. If you're waiting to no longer be nervous or anxious or afraid when you have to do something like follow-up, and you're going to be waiting a long time. The difference between those who are successful and those who are not are the successful people take action even in the face of being nervous, even while feeling afraid, and do things that they don't maybe necessarily want to do, but they know they need to do if they want to find success.
Fantastic, fantastic. So anyone who is listening right now, go get your pen, paper, and begin to write down all the names of everyone that you need to follow up, because that's the way to go. We're going to go back to your book now. And is this the first book that you've written?
Yes, it is the first book. Okay. And
was it challenging? It was a lot. It was a very big deal. I'm married to a man who is an academic, and he has written several books that are very scholarly books. And so I was very intimidated about the whole process. But I believe in hiring experts to help me, guide me along the way. Chapter 2 about delegating, I delegate as much as I possibly can. And I knew I needed an expert, so I hired somebody to help me understand the components that are necessary for putting a book together. And I hired a book coach, and I used a publisher. I did not want to self-publish. There were some advantages and disadvantages, but this was the best for me. And, I learned about my options, and then I made some choices, and I am very, very thrilled, absolutely thrilled. And writing a book is something that a lot of us want to do, and we haven't got around doing it. I know I've got so many half-written books which I'm yet to complete. So I need to get myself, I probably need someone to just kick me, at the backside and say, get on Placida, do it and finish it,
Well, especially if you have, from your website, it looks like you have so many wonderful things to offer to people. And, what better way to leverage your time and energy than to write it once and have people read it multiple times, or multiple people reading it. We can't touch everybody, right? But our books can.
That's true. That's absolutely true. Now, what's your favorite chapter of your book and why? What, do you have your favorite chapter?
Oh my
if you do.
Gosh, that is so hard. Oh, that's like asking which of my kids is my favorite. So I get hired by companies and by trade shows and conferences and such to come in and give presentations. And I must say that my presentation on Chapter 3, which is about follow-up, is a signature presentation of mine. I mean, each of the chapters I can come and teach and present about. You need all five. And actually, there's 2 bonus ones in the book. I teach people in my marketing class. It's called Marketing Momentum 101. And I actually am going to be presenting the class in New York in June. But I teach people how to put a marketing plan together. There's a whole lot of people running around who are teaching business owners how to put a business plan together. And I got to tell you, I have a very strong bias. I think that there are way too many business owners spending their limited, precious resources on writing a business plan that they don't need. And really what we all need are marketing plans. It's like a GPS that's going to tell us how we are going to work. And so, as you started the show, you said we're just finished the first quarter. And regardless of how people did, the bigger thing is where do they want to be at the end of the fourth quarter this year? And there's no way you're going to get there if you don't have a plan to get there. And so I love to teach people how to put a marketing plan together. And my course, Marketing Momentum 101, you walk in without your plan and you walk out and you've got a marketing plan in hand, ready to get you to where you want to go for the next, 12 months, 4 quarters.
I know you have regular events, and I know you run workshops and programs like that. Do you have any upcoming events that you'd like to share with us today?
Yes, I would, very much. So I have an upcoming class. It's going to be on June 8th, and it's going to be in New York City, Manhattan, in Midtown. And it's called Marketing Momentum 101, and people will learn how to create a marketing plan, how to choose the right strategies for their plan. We will do some exercises so that they can identify their ideal client or target market. And we'll also talk about some of the sales barriers that we put up in our head so that get in our way of our marketing. And everybody who attends the class gets a copy of my best-selling book, Fortune is in the Follow-Up. They will also get a take-home workbook. And then everybody who attends also gets, after the class is over, we'll set up an appointment on the phone and get a private 45-minute post-seminar consultation with me just to make sure that they understand what needs to be in their marketing plan and how to implement it. Because it's no good just to learn this stuff. It's only as good as we put it in action and make it work.
That's true. Totally true. Where can your book be found? And can you share with us more information about where you can be found?
Well, thank you for asking. So my book is sold on BarnesandNoble.com and Amazon.com. I am going to be in New York in June, and I'm going to be at the Book Expo of America, and I'm hoping to sell it to a few overseas bookstores in Europe. I have a group of fans in Japan. I'm hoping to place it there. But for right now, online, and it's available as either a paperback or in e-book form for Kindles and Nooks. And then I can always be found online at my website, which is HeidiSloss.com, and my last name is spelled S like in Sam, L-O-S-S, also like in Sam. I also have my Marketing Momentum 101 is on Eventbrite. So if anybody is listening and going to be in New York City on June 8th and looking to have a marketing plan put together, they're going to put their own marketing plan together in the class, and they want to participate, they can find that on Eventbrite. And I will offer, Placido, your listeners a discount. If anyone mentions to me, sends me an email and says they want to participate and they're interested in attending the Marketing Momentum 101, and they heard me on your radio show, I will give them a very generous discount.
Oh, good. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'd like to hear discounts. Thank
well,
you.
Thank
you
so
tough.
much. Small businesses, it's difficult, and it's hard to figure out what's a worthwhile use of my time and energy. And so anybody who's looking for a marketing plan, they can come in and take this one-day class, and then they will have the tools and their own marketing plan put together. And I normally offer this. It's a $799 cost to attend and get all of those things, the books, the workbooks, the private consultation. But, for your listeners, I will take off $200. So instead of $799, they can attend for only $599 if they let me know they heard me on your show. They just have to shoot me an email.
That's good. Thank you so much. Thank you. Heidi, it has been a pleasure interviewing you, and I love the tips that you've shared, especially the fact of following up, which I know that a lot of business owners aren't doing, for their businesses. So thank you so much for sharing these wonderful tips on how to grow your business in a recession. And I'm sure that the listeners, have gained lots and lots and lots from you today. I'm going to be sharing this out, as I always do, post it out to the groups I belong on the social media networks, and also to my mailing list, because they've got to hear this information that you shared today. It's very important. And whoever is listening, you haven't got Heidi's book, go online on Amazon and get one for yourself. It's very beneficial. She's got amazing tips in that book, and it's a book that you need to read in order to grow your business. Thank you once again for being on the show, and I'm looking forward to bringing you back.
Thank you. Anytime. You're a really great interviewer, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You've been listening to Keep Your Dream Alive with business mentor and monetization strategist Placida Acheru. Join us every first and third Wednesday of the month. Until then, keep your dream alive.